All right there. You know, there used to be a saying, a week is a long time in politics, but an hour is an eternity on the internet, and everyone has already torn this clip to pieces. Does that mean I've got nothing new to add to it? Yeah. Does it mean I'm still going to try and rinse it for some views? Yeah. So basically it's CBS Mornings and they've got Elaine on. Elaine, a couple more litres of wine, Bredehoft and Streifenswerster. I think that's her surname, it's something like that. Don't pull me out on pronunciations.
Elaine Charlson Bredehoft is the attorney for Amber Heard.
She likes a couple of litres of wine too. Go on, Elaine. Oh, the face.
And is with us now, and we should mention we did also reach out to Johnny Depp's team, but they did
they were too busy. Do me another mega pint.
decline to be interviewed this morning. Elaine, thank you. We're so very glad you're here.
Thank you.
We heard Amber's reaction to the verdict yesterday.
Yeah, have another one.
This seems to be a huge victory for Johnny Depp this morning.
Yeah, and a massive loss for Amber Heard.
Yeah, a major setback for women.
Fucking hell! Fucking hell, though. That, straight in there with that angle. Straight in there with that. Oh, this is a major loss for women. Hang on. Women weren't on trial. Gender wasn't on trial here. What's this, a major loss for women? I suppose because if you're going to say that, you're also going to say, you have to say, oh, this is a major victory for men. And so then, what was this trial about? Was this about men v women? Or was it about a man versus a woman, and in this case, a woman versus a man? Can we not just keep it to that, or are you, I don't know, perhaps trying to hang your non-existent bollocks from the hook of Me Too and its anorexic remains?
For women inside the courtroom and outside the courtroom.
How was this for women inside the a loss for women inside the courtroom? Female judge, Camille, the star attorney of the whole trial, female. Johnny Depp's team, I think, had 3 women working for it. No. Elaine, and this is your problem, this is why you failed. Well, you failed because your client had no evidence. But this is just a peculiar angle to take. This isn't a loss for women this was a victory for truth and justice. Do you remember those things? You probably studied them years ago when you were at attorney school, the bar, something like that. I'm an expert.
Because basically what this said, Amber
Heard was a liar.
had an enormous amount of evidence.
No. Amber Heard had an enormous amount of evidence that didn't have much to do with the allegations. I mean, a little bit of wine on the floor, not really 5 years of violent sexual abuse, is it?
Although a lot of it was suppressed in this case.
No, it wasn't. No. Don't go comparing it to the UK trial, which wasn't the same. In the UK, she was fighting a newspaper.
Opposed to the UK. But look at all the women who have no evidence. All these women who suffer from domestic violence.
Well, what about all the men that have no evidence? What about all the men that suffer from domestic violence? Oh, fuck them. This is her approach. Fuck them. This is about women. Of course this is about women. This is so cheap. This is cheap to just, like I say, hang her non-existent bollocks on that hook. This is ridiculous. There's plenty of men. I think if you look at the statistics, domestic violence is about, 50-50 across the genders. And the couples with the most domestic violence, last time I looked, admittedly it was a couple of years ago, it was lesbian relationships. But, carry on with your narrative.
domestic abuse. They don't have evidence. And basically what this jury said is unless you pull out your cell phone and you tape record your spouse beating you, you're out of luck.
But Elaine,
No, it didn't. No, what it said was, if you get someone repeatedly punch you in the face with loads of rings on, maybe get some photographs of that and not a little bruise on your arm. If you do get someone shoving a broken whiskey bottle into your vagina, maybe go and see a doctor. Maybe, get some kind of official records of that event happening, which I thought anyone would do it. I can assure you, if someone put something like that in my outdoor, I would be going to get it checked out. Now, I'm not trying to take anything away from perhaps the shame and guilt and fears around people in that kind of situation and going, medical procedures, etc., etc. But if you haven't got the evidence, how do you fight a trial? And she did not have the evidence. On the contrary, she had evidence of saying to Johnny Depp, every time we fight, and yes, I do hit you, you run away. Doesn't sound like an abusive husband to me. Every time we argue, you run away. Yeah. Or do you stand there repeatedly punching me in the face and fucking getting a broken whiskey bottle in? It didn't add up, Elaine. You thought you'd win this trial because she was a woman, and you lost. And you look like you've been on the piss for 26 years.
I think it was bigger than that because you had the evidence, as you say, but they did not believe her. Why do you...
Oh, my God. What a woman. They didn't... she's a woman. I mean, what has she got to do? Walk naked so that they can see that she's got a vagina and breasts? Why didn't they believe her? They didn't believe her because not only did she not have evidence, but her own evidence was contradictory to what she said.
I think they did not believe her.
And we'll add to that she's a terrible actress. That appealing to the jury question from Elaine. Look at the jury. Not a tear. Not a single tear. That might be why they didn't believe her. Lack of evidence and terrible, transparent, clearly narcissistic performance on the witness stand.
I think that a lot of that was that it was Johnny Depp. I think the celebrity status.
But she's a celebrity too.
And it's not only
Well, I must admit, I was a bit gutted to find out she was the bird in the Rum Diaries. I loved the novel, The Rum Diaries. It was one of those real key novels in my becoming a writer. I've got a Substack, link in the description, totally free. Go and sign up. I am a writer. But The Rum Diaries was one of those novels where I realised you could just, you didn't have to have sort of explosive and kind of, extreme events. There's actually a beauty and a poetry to just the storytelling of everyday life. And I absolutely preferred The Rum Diaries to Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. I read Fear and Loathing first and thought Hunter S. Thompson was fantastic. But when he got down off of his, it's got to be bombastic, it's got to be incredible, it's got to be crazy. And there is a place for that, of course. But when he wrote The Rum Diaries, I thought, now this is a more mature work. I think he wrote it afterwards. He certainly published it. I certainly read it afterwards anyway. But point being, when I watched the movie, which wasn't great, I mean, it was watchable, but she looked brilliant in that. I mean, she didn't have to do much performing, but I can see why he fell for her. I fell for her. But when I found out that was her, I thought, oh no, another one bites the dust. Continue, Elaine, are you sober?
But she's a celebrity too.
Right.
But you have to remember, it's a tale of two trials. All the evidence came in the UK.
No, it didn't. Lots of Johnny Depp's evidence wasn't allowed into that trial. Just lying. You're a liar. Weird that, isn't it? Weird that you're a liar as well, allegedly. Steady on. At this point, I usually say that their legal team's probably bigger than mine, but she is her legal team, so I can't say that for sure, but I'm 99. I don't know how to wiggle out of this one. Go and look into it. I think loads of Depp's evidence wasn't allowed into the UK trial. I heard it on the grapevine.
Mr. Depp brought that one. The burden of proof was on the son in the UK because they had called him a wife beater and talked about the domestic violence. He had his opportunity to tell the truth then.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. You're lying. And you know it, which is awful. How old are you? 400?
And a 3-week trial, he lost. The judge found 12
The judge whose son, if I remember rightly, worked for the Sun. Son.
acts of domestic violence, including sexual violence. And that came out November 2, 2020. We weren't allowed to tell the jury that.
Well, it's a different system.
Oh, what a terrible shame. There were things Johnny Depp wasn't allowed to tell the jury in England, but you omitted to mention that.
And the judge, it wasn't a jury, it was a judge. The judge said it was substantially true, and that is significant. And I think.
Look at the way he's almost apologetic. Well, it was a judge in the UK. There wasn't a jury. You know, that is substantially different. He actually looks scared. Well, I mean, you should do, mate. She's a woman. You should be believing her.
Surprised a lot of legal analysts, but you know, in this
look at her evil, bitter face. It surprised a lot of legal analysts. This one didn't.
case, the jury not only didn't believe Amber Heard, but in ruling that she acted with actual malice, that means she had the intent to cause harm, right? That's a pretty high standard to have proven.
And it's pretty amazing since the op-ed never even mentioned Mr. Depp. You have to remember.
Oh no, who could it have been? I mean, who else could it have been? It was, if you haven't read it, go and read it and, you know, I don't know, maybe I'll just pick a name out of a hat. Come on, that's ridiculous. Elaine, this is a shocking performance. And I mean performance. And by performance, I mean it's theatre, because you're not working within realms of the truth here. You're putting on a show. You're still in character. The character of a washed-up old attorney who's failed.
Remember that. What they learned from the UK case is to demonize Amber, which is what they did, and to try to...
Now, what they learned from the UK case, a minute ago she said that Johnny Depp lost. Well, why would they have learned anything from that? That's ridiculous.
Press as much of the evidence that came in the UK and did not come in.
And as I have said time and time again, I know you can't hear me, Elaine, but I'm sure you're probably watching this. You've got your own amount of narcissism. I bet you're Googling them all on your YouTube. What are they saying about me? I'm a hero. I'm a hero for women.
In the United States. But the other problem is we had cameras in the courtroom.
Oh, that's the problem, isn't it? Having cameras in the courtroom, I mean, that's the last thing the judicial system wants. You know, transparency.
So here we had, not only did we have a group of Depp fans that were there every day, 100 were allowed in. They lined up at 1 o'clock in the morning for their wristbands to be in that courtroom.
What an insult this is to the jury. Those people who spent 6 or 7 weeks sitting there. I mean, I had done it out of choice, and sometimes it was dry as fuck. But I was sitting here, you know, mug of Ovaltine, mega pint of gin. But, you know, they had to sit there, they had to... This, you know, if you're on a jury, you don't take these things lightly, because these things can affect your life. Their names are being kept under the radar for a year, but when that year's over, yes, you can probably write a book about it or, you know, do some interviews, but... You know, that's so insulting. Oh, there was 100 Johnny Depp fans in that court. Oh, well, you know, the jury, what? I mean, being 7 years old, that probably swayed them. That's just insulting. You're not very nice. And Lord knows how you've managed to get the kind of, you know, reputation where someone with the money of Amber Heard would hire you, because this is a ridiculous argument.
Courtroom, but we had everything on camera, and we had...
Yeah, do you understand that Johnny Depp also had everything on camera? You know how he was in the same room. You know that, no?
Tremendous social media.
Then there's social media. What? So what?
Was very, very, very much against Amber. Very
It was pointed
demonizing.
out that that was the first time that a victim of sexual abuse had to testify on live television.
And I fought hard and lost that battle. It should not have happened.
Oh my God, why? What, because she was the first person to testify on telly she shouldn't have lost? That's what you just said. That's shocking. Absolutely shocking. You do realise Johnny Depp also had all his dirty laundry aired in public, like years and years of it. Videos of him after he found out his attorney and manager had done him for millions of dollars, smashing cabinets around, all that other stuff, everything that come out. Why should she not have lost just because she was the first woman to have to testify to that? Johnny Depp also had to defend himself against that on telly. Imagine if I'd have said, yeah, Johnny Depp was the first person who had to testify against, he had to defend himself against accusations of sexual violence. He should not have lost. You'd laugh me all the way out the brothel.
So I am a former NFL player. And after
People are amazed, aren't they?
a hard loss, it's easy to wake up and point to the other side. Oftentimes, I realized the better thing to do was to look in the mirror. What mistakes did I make as a player? What mistakes did our coaching staff make? And then how can we...
Yeah, you need to move a little bit more outside of your experience and into something that other people can identify with. And you've got about 2 seconds left before they've all switched off. There's a lesson for you, my friend.
improve from there? Do you feel like you guys made any mistakes along the way? Do you feel like...
He could have just said that. He could have just said that. He could have just said, do you feel like you made any mistakes on the way? I'm a former NFL player, turns to camera, in case none of you recognise me. Blah, 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 blah. Did you make any mistakes? Do you feel like you fucked this up, Elaine?
like Amber made a mistake while she was on the stand? Because
When she was a shocking actress.
you're saying it's the celebrity, it's Johnny, it's the people who support him. But what about you and your team?
Well, let's see. Let's see if one of the... Let's see if Elaine thinks her team made mistakes.
And that's an excellent question. And
Can't wait for the excellent answer.
to say, and you know, Amber even said on the stand, I am not perfect. I am a human being. These people were giving...
Oh, yeah, no. Stunning and brave. No, she actually said that. You know, not sure. Are you about to say that your team isn't perfect and your team is human beings? Please say that. I beg you to.
her death threats. They threatened to microwave
Oh, no. She's going completely a different direction.
her baby.
What? On the internet? People said nasty things. On the internet? I don't know about the rest of this video. If that's the kind of thing that goes on this platform, if that's the kind of thing that goes on the internet, I don't know if I'm going to hang around anymore. People saying horrible things online. Nah, that's changed everything.
This is the kind of social media she was getting. So are any of us perfect? No. Is there something else we feel we should have done? Yes.
Oh, so she has gone in that direction. What? I don't know why she had that weird detour to microwaving babies, but maybe she's drawing a comparison between the job her legal team done and microwaving the baby of truth.
I absolutely. I redo my closings 100 times.
yeah. You need to.
Yeah, afterwards, whether I win or lose. That's part
That's because you're insane.
of being a good lawyer, a good trial lawyer is
Right.
there's always something. But I think that there were a lot of influences here that were beyond our control.
So what you're saying is, no, you didn't make any mistakes. You went through your closing 100 times like a psychopath, but no, it was all external influences. It was nothing to do with my legal team. Microwaving babies.
And I think the social media, it was like a Roman Colosseum.
No, it wasn't. In the Roman Colosseum, they had tigers raping pregnant women. I mean, I can't quite see the equivalence you've drawn there. When was the last Roman Colosseum you went to, or even read about, by the sounds of it? It wasn't like a Roman Colosseum. You know what it was like, Elaine? The internet.
It is the best way to describe the
No, it's a terrible analogy.
atmosphere here. And I have to.
Can you imagine? I mean, did you see the trial? A judge who had total control of the place, security guards who removed people if they went, yeah, oh, and almost total silence from everyone. That isn't the image that I conjure up based on what I know about the Colosseum. It isn't very Caligulian, I think it's fair to say. Amazing. Microwaving babies.
Believe that the jury, even though they're told not to go and look at anything, they have weekends, they have families, they have
they were
social
not
media.
sequestered. They were not sequestered.
And the
More insulting the jury again. I mean, okay, maybe they did look online, but do you think any of them went home thinking, yeah, Amber Heard, man, she's innocent. This is all Johnny Depp. I just have a look on Facebook. Oh no, other people think something else. I better go with them then. I better agree with them. Yeah, all right. Fuck everything I've heard in the trial. I'm gonna agree with Turtle Man 7894.
The 10-day period we had, how could they not have been influenced?
But Elaine, for most people watching this trial, and a lot of people, as you know, it got huge views. It just
Elaine is basically saying that the legal system's over. That if you televise it, it's over. That's her point here. And that's a massive, massive point. I want more transparency. And she's saying it's over. I think telling jurors not to look on social media is ridiculous. I think that will change in time because it's just, it's unreasonable, it's unrealistic. You can't do anything. I'll log into my bank to see how skint I am, and there'll be a thing in the sidebar sort of saying Amber Heard didn't do this, and you can't if you go online you can't avoid big spectacles like this. You can't. So I think that will soon be But what a better thing to say will be be an adult, understand that these are people's lives, and base your opinion on the evidence you hear in court rather than what fucking hanging anus 523 microwaving babies has got to say.
just seemed to be so messy and salacious and so tawdry on both.
Yes, that's what I wanted to hear. Yes. Anything that takes the blame off of my shoulders, you'll get a little smile, an analysed little pursed lip.
On both sides. And I think for a lot of people from the outside looking in thought both of them were not telling the truth and that they mutually abused each other. Do you not believe that was the case?
No, and that's one of
No.
the many misnomers. The way that Depp's team approached this was based on ignorance of domestic violence.
And the way your team approached it was on freedom of speech and no evidence.
It completely ignored the cycle of violence and just said, oh, she wouldn't have done this if he had been hitting her. That was their approach.
What? Why she wouldn't have done this if he was hitting her? Do you mean her face remaining unbeaten? Because if that's what you're saying, then yeah, I agree with you. She wouldn't have done that. Her face would have bruised and cut and torn and taken months to repair.
So you thought that they weren't fighting fair?
Correct. I don't think they were fighting fair.
And you think
absolutely.
Amber Heard is?
No way. She's just accused she's just accused Depp's attorneys of not fighting fair. What a weird couple of words. Yeah, fighting fair. Well, as long as they were fighting, you lost. What is fighting fair? Well, in court, you do what you can. You do what you have to do.
is in fact a survivor of domestic violence.
Yes, I absolutely believe that, and there's a tremendous amount of evidence.
Not enough evidence. There's more evidence. We saw more evidence to suggest that Johnny Depp is a survivor of domestic violence.
Much of which did not come into this trial, did come into the UK trial. We even had more evidence. We had medical records. We had mental health records that went back to 2012 that were contemporaneous. We had text messages from Mr. Depp's assistant saying,
Oh, from someone else.
when I told him that he had kicked you, he cried.
So how
That
is she
didn't come
today,
in.
Elaine? How is she today? What is
So why wasn't that allowed in? Are you going to tell us why? No. So almost as if you're not fighting fair, Elaine.
what is her next move?
She's right. Well, her next move is a
Take some mushrooms and go to Coachella.
appeal. There were
But
a
she's
number.
heartbroken.
She is heartbroken, and one of the first things that
No, she's a psychopath. I saw the thing that she put on Twitter and she's like, no. I'm wonderful. The world's fucked. No. She'll go back to being a stripper. Not a bad thing. If she tells me where she's working, I will visit, I will partake.
that she said when she came back from the verdict, when we went into the conference room, was, I am so sorry to all these women.
Oh, so stunning. So brave.
That's,
She said that?
Yes.
Yeah, she said that? Yes. I mean, this is the kind of woman we're talking about. Women.
She felt like she had let down all of these women
And weirdly, it's because she fucking has.
because she had more evidence than most people do.
No, she didn't. That's just not true. And where are you getting that from? What evidence? A couple of photos of a bruise on her arm? That's more evidence than most people, is it? Well, the few I can think of that I've known in my life, oh no, they had pictures of carving knife scars running down their backs.
And yet they still didn't believe her.
They didn't believe her. Did you not see that photoshopped bruise? Come on, men. What kind of animals are you?
Elaine Charleston Bredehoft, thank you so much for joining us.
Elaine Charles Bredehoft, fuck you.
We appreciate you.
Thank
We'll be
you.
right back.
Sweet, sweet, my, sweet.